Hey there, Jamie with Brazelton Realty here, and this is the market report for Hunters Cove here in Greeley, Colorado, so stay watching. All right, well 2020 has been a heck of a year, but to be honest with you, it hasn't really affected the housing market that much, and we're going to look at that in more detail for the subdivision Hunters Cove here in Greeley, Colorado. So let's dive right in. So here's a graph of the last 2 years that we've seen here in Hunters Cove. As you see, we start down with an average sales price of $381, and in 2 years we're ending with an average sales price of $404,980. So just under $405,000 is the average sales price. When we look at the days on market, you can see that the days on market kind of peaked up here, around May this year. We got a little bit more of a delay in closing some of these properties, which is to be expected, to be honest, with the year that we had. But then it crawls back down and we end with an average of 64 days on market, which honestly is really quick. When you figure an average sale will take at least 30 days to get closed with the lender and appraisal, and with rates the way they are, lenders and appraisals have just been totally swamped. So 64 days on average is really pretty good. Here's some things that I've noticed about Hunters Cove as I've watched the market over the last year. There's some properties that are really prime properties, especially the properties that back up into some green space or some open space. In Hunters Cove, we have quite a few of those properties in a percentage basis. And those properties tend to just fly off the market and they sell for top dollar premium no matter what the condition. But then we have some properties that are more internal to the neighborhood, that are on some streets that aren't busy, but they do have some through traffic. Those properties don't tend to just fly off the market. They tend to sit a little bit longer, and they tend to be a little bit more comparable to some of the other properties in some of the other mid-range neighborhoods in Greeley. So when we look at this, the numbers can be a little bit skewed, I think, because if we were to break out the houses that back up into open space and the houses that are internal, I think it would tell a very different story. But overall, we see the market continuing to move forward. We see things progressing at a really unbelievable rate, and Hunters Cove continues to be at the top or upper end of some of the neighborhoods out there in Greeley. So let's look at Greeley just for a second to give you an idea of what the market is in general for Greeley. And when we look at this, we're going to see that the days on market on average is about 56. So Hunters Cove, some of those properties sit a little bit longer. And like I said, those are primarily going to be more of the internal properties that don't back up into open space or aren't in a cul-de-sac. And then the average sales price for Greeley is $353,000, just a little over that. And so we can see that Hunters Cove is exceeding the average here in Greeley. So that's nothing new for most of the people that have been living in the area. Most of the people want to live in Hunters Cove, so you would assume that the prices are going to be higher. If we look at the new listings that we've seen this year in Greeley, we've seen a little over 1,600 new listings. But when we go back to Hunters Cove, in this area here, there's only been 14 new listings in this area. So that will probably tell you right there that there's not a lot of properties in Hunters Cove that come up for sale, and it's continuing to be a desirable neighborhood. So if you're thinking of selling, honestly, it's a really good time to look at that, especially if you open up or if you back into open space. It's very desirable. Thanks for watching. I hope this information was helpful. Feel free to contact me If you have any questions, I'd love to connect with you and buy you a cup of coffee. I hope you all have a wonderful day.